Hello everyone, welcome to day 142 of playing chess every day for a year. Let's find the game. We're starting as black here and we get e4, so we go into the Caro-Kann. Knight takes, we can just take, go into a Tatakawa. Not sure what the move is here, maybe pushing is good. I think pushing is good, just to get the queens off the board. And also open up the center completely. If they take, I take here, and then I can just develop. I could take here. If the knight takes, I can go here. If the knight takes, I take with check. There are no checks on my king. Pinning the knight is a good move. I could kick the bishop away now. I could also play just this move. Now I'm threatening to take the knight and win the bishop. Take the knight, they can take here first. Then I can double up. I do have a check, but my opponent can just block. I have this check also, which looks good, but they just block with the bishop. And my opponent is back. My opponent's threatening a discovered check on my king. I could give a check myself. I could give this check, although they just block. Taking here doesn't work. I could block with my queen myself, just to stop any danger. Taking here right now doesn't work because it's discovery. I could just bring my bishop up one square to hold everything. Could bring my queen up to threaten to... I think just bringing my queen up one square is the best move, because if I can get the knight off the board, the bishop has to retake. The bishop has to recapture, and then I can take with check, and the king can't castle. If I go here and the knight takes, I can just recapture and it's fine. I'm actually threatening to take the knight now because it's an attack on the queen. And if they recapture, I don't actually have to take the queen, I can actually take the bishop for free. The queen will be pinned to the king. And queen up is a very interesting move. I think the queen is just... If I take here and they take with the queen, the bishop falls. And if I take here, they can't take with the bishop, so I think this just... If I take here, they have to take my bishop first. And then I can take here. The bishop's pinned, the queen has to take, and I can take here. So they have to take my bishop. And they do. No, I can't take with the king. I can double up on my knight. If they push, it lets me develop my bishop. Now, I think the bishop taking is wrong. I have this queen check. If they just block with the bishop, I also have this queen check to undouble my pawn structure, which could be good. And then I could bring my rooks in and my bishops in, and it could be very good. I'll go for this, I think, undoubling my structure. It's very forcing. The queen has to take. And that's what happens. I can take this whole center now. I could take the chance to long castle right now. Although then the rooks just see each other and it's a bad position. I think I'll just push and kick away the dark squared bishop. Obviously I just want to castle here. Sliding the rook over. I don't think my opponent's gonna sacrifice their bishop because that just wouldn't work. I think my best move here is still just to play rook d8, trying to get my king castled. I also like b6, just escaping any potential rook infiltration. I could castle right now, but I think just playing rook over to d8 is the best, just so that I'm able to safely castle. The bishop's a dark squared bishop, so my king will be safe on the light squares. I don't want to take her, and that would just be very bad for me. Pushing is interesting. because if I take the rook first, I can actually win this pawn. So I think pushing is a mistake for my opponent. I think taking here, I can take. Oh, takes with the king. That looks completely wrong. If I take, my pawn has pressure on my bishop. And if they take, I can take, and I lose the pawn. Could play bishop over, just to defend. That does lose a pawn. Taking with the king was probably actually the best move. Castling now just loses a pawn. But then I can come in and win one, so I think I'll actually just castle right now. If they take, I recapture, they can capture, and then I go in. I can't take because my bishop would be hanging. The king stepping over is really weird. What I need to do is find the better square for my bishop, and I think that would be this one. I could also go to challenge this bishop, so I think b6 is correct here. After bishop c5, I'm going for a check and a fork. My opponent takes, and I think that's a bad move, because if they take, I just take this way, but I think if I take, I can go for this, and it's just a big trade. If I take, the rook can't actually take, because then I'd have this, and I can come in with my own rook to win these pawns, so I think I'll actually take him. The bishop should probably take, but if the bishop takes, I go here. Rook takes, I think, blunders a check. If the king comes in, I'd have this. Rook takes, I think I have this check first. So I have this check right now. If the king steps over, I'd have this. Then the king goes here. I think I just come in with the rook. I have to be very careful here, because my bishop will be hanging. And could push. I think I'll try to bring the king away from the defense of these. Rook looks to be a fork as well. The king should go this way. I'm down one pawn right now, it's this one. So the king does go to the right place. I don't have any more checks. This move doesn't work. I think I just come in now to target these. The king is actually cut off right now by my bishop. And if the rook ever moves off the back rank, I have mate, unless my opponent plays a3. I think rook to g1 is a mistake because of this. I'd be able to sacrifice a rook even. I should probably put my pawns on light squares just to stop the bishops, but right now my priority is winning this. My opponent's also taken an absurd amount of time this game. Bishop back. I think that just gives me this pawn. Could bring my own bishop in. My own bishop into d2 looks good now. Because after we trade, I'm still attacking this. But then I don't win this pawn, so I think I just take this pawn for free. I don't see any mate on this square, but they are white squares. I'm attacking this now. Rook check. I can just step up. The rook goes back. I can take here. Check, I just go here. Rook over, my bishop's pinned, but I can start pushing. Maybe I just play h6 to lock the bishop in and start bringing my king. The problem is this pawn, which is a big weakness right now. So my opponent goes for that. I can't move my bishop at the moment, but I can actually just start pushing. And I hung my rook. Wow. So now the game is a lot more interesting. I am up on the time, but I think I'm completely losing now because of the rook. I think check does not work. I'll stay on the light squares. The bishop's going after my pawns, but I can just put them on knight squares. I could also push now. I think I'll save my pawns. I'm actually incredibly annoyed with this game because the game was completely drawn, but at one point I blundered my rook, so let's look at this game. I only had one blunder this game. We both had 2 mistakes. I played with a 76, my opponent an 80. I played like a 1400, my opponent like a 1600. So I played the Caro-Kann, went into the Tatakawa. Pushing was wrong, I should have just developed. Bringing my knights was wrong. I should have just brought my bishop in to attack the knights. Actually forcing the trade is good for me. Queen e7 is a mistake. After castles, I'm actually in trouble. I'm not sure why I'd play here. I can't take the knight because I just lose my bishop. If I take the knight, they can also just take with the rook. The bishop's defended. My opponent missed castling, and I missed queen in, which forces the queens off the board, which is good for me. And then I also have this. I'd be hitting this. Actually, it's actually defended right now. But then, no. Best move would be to take with the bishop. Bishop takes. c3 is the best move. I can go back to c5 and the position is good. Instead what happened was we just traded everything. Taking when the bishop was wrong, I can force the queens off the board, which was best. Rook d8 wasn't good, and I should have played g5, just taking even more space on the board. I give up the pawn. I bring my rook in. I win another pawn. And here I'm just completely winning. In this position I'm completely winning. All I have to play is rook over to make the bishop move, and then I can just keep pushing. Rook over is the best move. I probably would have played, I'm not sure, rook h3 or something, and then start pushing. Instead, what I missed about this very silly bishop to e5 move is that it hits my rook. And I played h5 too quickly and hung my rook. And so in one move, I go from +3 to -4 in evaluation. This endgame still isn't lost. I still have small chances to king behind to push is actually the best move. King up is wrong. And here I'm actually losing. My opponent just had tempo on promotion, and they also promote with check, which is extremely annoying. So I had to get my king out of the way. Though the best move was just to push anyway. And then here I actually just hang my pawn as well, which just loses the game. I resign in this position. My opponent made a huge mistake, and I missed the way to punish it, which was to get behind. Getting the king behind just lets me play g3. And it's actually a drawn position. Rook g1 is the best move. I can play h4. And then a4 comes. Pushing the king is best. And according to the computer, it's just a draw. There's no way to win the game. The game should end in a draw. So h5 was easily my worst move. What I missed was that my opponent was trying to attack my rook for some reason. I don't know why they played bishop e5. It's such a weird move to play. And I wasn't paying attention, and I hang my rook, and I lose the game because of it. And I actually had chances to win the endgame, but in general I was completely losing once I hung my rook. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.